Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to review the Titan Expanse, which is a new epic weapon in Infinite Warfare, which was added in about 2 months ago during the Wreck the Hulls update. I got this from a hack about 2 weeks ago. I didn't do it on video or anything, this was off video, but I've been using it a good bit and I think I've got a pretty good idea for the gun. And firstly I'm going to go over the perks of the weapon, then the aesthetics, and then my opinion of the weapon. So obviously my opinion is going to take up the majority of the video, but we'll get started in with the perks first. So the first perk is the epic perk called Invert Polarity, and what this does is it greatly increases the fire rate, but it decreases over time. So what this means is that when you pull the trigger, the first 6 shots that come out of the gun, well approximately the first 6 shots, will be at a greater fire rate than the base Titan's fire rate. So it'll shoot faster than what the Titan normally would for the first 6 shots, approximately, and then after that it'll slow down pretty fast. In like a second or two it'll slow down quite greatly to being like the Raw's sort of fire rate from what I could tell. So it's probably not identical to the Raw, but it's pretty close to how, slow the Raw shoots. So basically what this means is that it starts off shooting really fast for about the first 6 shots in a burst, and then after that it slows down in about a second or two to being the Raw's fire rate, which, yeah, this perk is a lot better than what it sounds, so I'll explain that later on. But the second perk is the common perk called Built-in Elo, and what this does is it provides built-in Elo sight. This is actually pretty good because at first it kind of sounds like, well, you're just getting another attachment. This is really good because the Titan's base sight is actually kinda bad because it blocks off like half of your screen when you're using it, because there's like a massive metal arm holding the sight in place. So getting a sight on the Titan's actually really useful. The actual sight in the Titan's really clean, but the fact that it cuts off half of your view is kind of annoying, and Elo definitely does help with this gun. So overall, 2 really good perks. The first perk doesn't sound too good, but I'll explain that when I get to my opinion. So the next section is aesthetics. There's not much to say about the aesthetics of this gun because it is the exact same model as the normal Titan all up. Basically, what Infinity would have been doing is that whenever they've been releasing new epic variants after Infinite Warfare's life cycle, so after World War II's release, they've been releasing epic variants every now and then, and these epic variants have the exact same model as other epic variants that they also release. So for example, the NV4 Honeybee has the exact same model as the NV4 Chaos, I believe. NV4 Recruit has the exact same model as a Flatline. The Trencher Rush has the exact same model as the Trencher Blitzkrieg, that sort of thing. So this Titan Expanse has the exact same model as the Titan Scout, with the only difference of course being the fact that the Titan Expanse has a built-in Elo, so it looks different, but if you put an Elo sight in the Scout it'll look identical. But if we're comparing the model to the base Titan, the only difference is that it has a cool camo. You can see in the gameplay I didn't put a camo in the gun, you can probably see it on the screen in the creative class right now. But basically it's just got a cool camo, like a green and black and grey camo, so it's a really nice looking camo, but it doesn't really change the actual model. Some weapons have, for example the Trencher Rush or Blitzkrieg, it has a built-in grenade launcher which you can actually see visibly in the model of the gun. It makes the Trencher look a lot better. However, this gun doesn't actually have any additions to the weapon model. It looks pretty much like the model is identical to the base Titan, it's just got a cool camo. And that's about it for aesthetics. But yeah, like I said, Infinity would have just been using reused epic variant models, which is fair enough I guess. But yeah, the Elo is really the only thing that really changes the gun from the Titan Scout's model. So on to my opinion for the weapon. So first off I'm going to just say that this gun is very good. It's not outstanding, it's not overpowered, it's not a milk machine. It is just a very good weapon if you know how to use it. I'm also going to say that this gun seems to have the exact same damage output as any other Titan variant in the game. The only difference is that it shoots faster for like the first 6 or so bullets in a burst. And that takes me on to my next point, which is that if you're using this gun, burst fire it. The distinctive thing about the Titan Expanse is the fact that it shoots faster within a burst. It shoots faster for the first 6 shots in its burst, and after that it slows down greatly to like the Raw's fire rate, which is very slow, and especially if you don't have the damage output of the Raw, it makes the Titan really bad. So what you have to do is burst fire it for about 6 shots, do about 6 round burst shots, and just keep feathering the trigger every single time you shoot like 6 shots. So fire 6 shots, release the trigger, and then press the trigger again pretty much instantly, and it'll fire another 6 shots really fastly. So that's really how you should be using this weapon. If you do use it like that, it melts people, and it's very difficult for, if you actually hit your shots, you're pretty much gonna outgun every gun in the game. Like I said, though, it's not overpowered because you actually have to burst fire and you do actually have to aim properly, and the Titan does have a decent amount of recoil. But yeah, you can see in the gameplay I do mess up my shots though, because sometimes when I'm in a gunfight I just panic and I start spamming the trigger and it turns into this semi-auto weapon instead of being like a burst fire, so it completely negates every bonus the gun has. But yeah, that's what I want to say in regards to that. Because of the invert polarity perk, I guess this goes for the Oni Tengu as well, because it has the exact same perk. When you're using the Oni Tengu, you have to feather the trigger as well, because it does the exact same thing. So basically, just what I'm saying is that whenever you're using this gun, fire 6 shots and just burst fire essentially. What this also does is it makes it so the gun has more accuracy. Obviously burst firing gives guns more accuracy, and due to the fact you're basically being forced to burst fire this weapon, it also comes with the bonus of having more accuracy, and the gun's just more accurate. The Titan does have loads of recoil, so this is definitely a welcome advantage. Next thing regarding the built-in elu, I've already said this, I'm just going to reiterate it. The built-in sight for the base Titan, like the default iron sights for the base Titan, are really clean. Like, they are really good sights. However, there is a massive metal arm holding it in place on the right side of the screen, which makes it a really obstructive sight, and it cuts off like half your vision. So it's a really good, clean sight, but it's basically a built-in red dot variant, but it just has a massive metal arm which blocks off half your screen. Having the built-in elu actually really helps, because it makes it so that metal arm, it doesn't actually exist, it's not there anymore, so you can see you've got your entire view back, and elu also just has a really clean sight, so it's nice having that built in. As far as I know though, you can't put a reticle on the elu built into the Titan Scout. I'm pretty sure you can't put an elu, or you can't put a reticle on it, because it's not actually an attachment that you can, like, it doesn't, when you put it in creator class, it doesn't have an elu where the sight is, it's blank, but it just has a built-in elu with the gun model, so I'm pretty sure you can't put a reticle on it. You also can't put an elu sight onto the Titan Expanse, because it already has an elu sight. You could do this with the Trencher Rush, where you could put a Trojan sight onto the gun, even though it's got a built-in Trojan sight. I think this might have been so as you can actually change the reticle on it, but I don't actually know if you can change reticles and Trojan sights. Basically, if you're using Titan Expanse, you can't put a reticle onto your elu sight. I doubt that's a big issue, but, you know, it is what it is, so if that's something you really don't like, I guess don't use the gun, but I doubt that's something that really annoys people, so. But overall, I would just say that this weapon is very good. Like I said, it's not a melt machine. I don't think I got any crazy feeds in this game. I got like a triple kill on a domination flag or something you might have seen by now, but yeah, it's not a melt machine, you know, it's not like an OP weapon or something, but it's definitely a very good weapon, and it's probably better than any other Titan variant in the game. So, and it's definitely 100% better than Titan Scout. In my opinion, this should have been the epic variant that was in the game instead of the Titan Scout. The Titan Scout shouldn't exist, because it's just such a pointless weapon. It doesn't have any bonuses to it. So, just to round it up, this weapon is very good. It's not overpowered or anything like that, so it doesn't need any balancing patches or anything, I'd say. But personally, I would say this weapon is very good. You should burst fire it due to the fact that it's got an increased fire rate during like the first, it's like 6 or so shots in a burst, so you should burst fire it. If you don't, it goes down to having about the raw's fire rate and not the raw's damage, so it's really bad. And it's got a built-in elu, which is very good, because the base sight is very obstructive for the raw, or for the Titan. So I would say that's about it. Obviously, if this weapon is ever craftable in the future, I would say if you're torn between this variant and the likes of the Trencher Rush, go for the Trencher Rush because it's better. But if you really like the Titan, if this is craftable sometime in the future, then I would say buy it because it's the best Titan variant in the game. But I would say that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, even subscribing, and I'll see you next one. Bye.
We're winning this fight.